Africa. Thank you for joining us. Is China propping up human rights abuses and corruption in Africa?
I think it's a very difficult problem, corruption in Africa, but bigger problem is to get the infrastructure done, and I think China has done a very good job in doing this. For the people, most important is to get roads, to get electricity. Then they can do some business, and then they can talk about clean government. I think to do it the other way around, it's much more difficult.
China is certainly receiving a hero's welcome in Egypt from African leaders. It's expected to more than double the aid that it offered Africa back in 2006. Why is it doing this?
Because they are interested in the natural resources, and they are interested in political allies to develop the global institutions. So if they run together, if China runs together with many African countries, they are stronger, and on the same side, in the same way, they can get natural resources like everybody who's investing in Africa.
Well, China has actually been very sensitive to that. It's been sensitive to criticism that it is only after natural resources. Wen Jiabao suggesting that involvement in Africa is sincere and selfless with no political strings attached.
I think what they are doing is good at one side and bad at the other side. This area this region in Africa is really lacking of basic infrastructure. And the Chinese still know how it feels when you have no roads, when you have no electricity. So they are really willing to help, and on the other side they want to have something for it. So I think even with all the disadvantages, it's still a win-win situation for China and for Africa. And they have the choice. African leaders can choose between Western investment and Chinese investment, so they can try to get the best choice for their countries, and that's a development which is good for Africa as well.
There have been suggestions that the West's criticism of China's involvement in Africa is based on fears that China is going to take over its monopoly. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, but I think that's a bit too much to think that China is going to have a monopoly. I think the best way for the West is to offer better deals, to offer interesting deals for the African countries, and then they can get back into the business. I think it's not a quite good way to complain, especially as we know they had like 20 years of time before China came into the game to help the African countries and to get on good terms and on good relationships. So the best way now for the West to react is to really think about how they can help Africa in a better way than China is helping Africa now.
Okay, Frank Sieren, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining us.